Hello, sports fans. It's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke. Today, back talking about the White Sox and their off season. It remains pretty quiet. They did sign Jose Abreu by giving him the qualifying offer, and he took it. So they have him for one more year in 2020 at least, and they are in talks with him to try to keep him. It seems like the White Sox do want to keep him, and it also seems like Abreu wants to stay with the White Sox. So maybe that's something that can work out. Because according to Scott Merkin, who covers the White Sox for MLB.com, this is a match that it seems like both sides want. So hopefully that's true. Hopefully we can keep Abreu at a reasonable cost. The I guess the qualifying offer is a pretty good amount of money, but it's not break the bank. I think it's like 17 point something million for 1 year. So, if they can sign him to a long-term contract that pays him an average annual value of around that much, maybe a little less than that, and he takes it because he wants to stay in Chicago, then hey, I'm all for it. But they, like I said in my previous video, they do have to spend some money this offseason. So there are some. I did mention in the other video that it would be nice if they got Garrett Cole. Now, that does seem unlikely because Garrett Cole does want to play on the West Coast, and the White Sox are not generally seen as a great destination for most free agents. It's probably why Machado didn't sign with them last year. I mean, they went after Machado, hot and heavy. They signed his brother-in-law. There was something else they did too to try to entice him to come, and they gave him a really good offer, but he still decided to go to San Diego. So, they tried, I guess. I mean, they didn't. See, the White Sox said that the offer that they were going to give Machado actually had the potential to pay him more than what he makes with San Diego. But the deal that he signed with San Diego is what he wanted. So, and the White Sox didn't give him what he wanted, which it's kind of, it's kind of strange. I don't understand that. Because if you were willing to give him a contract that you thought would pay him more than what he signed with and what he wanted, then why not just give him what he wanted? But they didn't do that. And who knows if he would have signed with Chicago if they had done that. But, if somebody says this is what they want and you want to get them, and you need to show the fan base that you're willing to spend money to go get free agents to make your team better, then that's what you got to do. But there are some other notable starting pitchers out on the free agent market. Strasburg, I think, is going to be out there, potentially. Zach Wheeler will be out there. Madison Bumgarner is going to be out there. Even Daniel Hudson, he's a reliever, but he'll be out on the free agent market. As far as regular position players, you've got Castellanos, and there's some other guys out there that will also be out there. So Rendon, the third baseman on the world champion Washington Nationals. So there are some people they can go after, but they really have got to make some offers and get some good talent that can go with the young crop of players that could potentially be on the White Sox this year. Guys like that are already there, like Moncada, Jimenez, guys like that, they're coming into their own now. Jimenez had 30 plus home runs last year, 31 I think. Hit 267. He's got to work on that. Moncada finally, he hit over 300 and seems like he's seeing his potential. But they also have young guys from the system that should see the light of day this year, like Lewis Robert and Dylan Cease. Maybe Kopech is coming back from his Tommy John surgery. We don't know. But maybe he's back, or he'll be back sometime this year and eligible to be, or the White Sox should bring him up and put him in on their starting team and in their starting rotation. They've got Dane Dunning, who they're going to have to protect. He's one of their players one of their highly touted prospects who they're going to have to protect on the 40-man or lose him to the Rule 5 draft. So and the general consensus is that of all the players that they do have that they could possibly lose in the Rule 5 draft, he is a no-brainer to protect. So, there is that. They've got Andrew Vaughn, who they just drafted. He's going to need some seasoning in the minor leagues. And another thing that the White Sox need to be careful of is they have a tendency to keep people in the minors too long. And they need to bring them up and get them playing. Get the exposure, make the team better. I mean, fans like me, we want to see that. We want to see the team be better. Lewis Robert being in the minors on Charlotte, that doesn't do me any good. I'm not going to Charlotte games, and I don't care about Charlotte, except in as much as they are preparing players for the White Sox. But when they're ready for the White Sox, they need to bring them up. And they have a tendency not to do that, or to be overcautious. So we'll see, but so far things look okay. I mean, the free agency period really just kind of started, so there's you can't expect miracles right out of the door, but they do have to spend some money, get some free agents in to go with the young crop of players that they have. Giolito's another one. We need players to come back from injuries like Kopech and Rodon. But I think the future is looking a little brighter, especially if some of the players, like I mentioned in the last video, players who had disappointing years can bounce back from those disappointing years. And we get the young guys up and go out, spend some money, and get some free agents. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated whenever I hear anything that the White Sox are doing, like the Abreu signing, giving him the qualifying offer for 1 year. I think that was a good move. They definitely need him, but they do have to give him some help in that lineup, and they do need to get some starting pitching and some relief pitching. I like their catcher tandem right now, so I don't know if they really need to go out on the free agent market and get catching, but, because there's, some people have speculated maybe they want to go get Grandal. I mean, I don't know. McCann was great last year, so I don't know if we really need to go out and get another catcher, and maybe we're not better served spending our money that way, but we'll see. So anyway, what do you guys think? Leave a comment below in the comments section. Leave me a note at my Twitter or my Instagram or even my email if you want. Give a thumbs up if you like the video. Thumbs down if you don't. Subscribe to the channel. And ring the bell so that you'll know when videos come out. I expect to be talking about the White Sox quite often. The White Sox and the Islanders. I will be talking about quite often. The Islanders, especially because they're playing right now and their season is actually going, and they're doing quite well. But the White Sox also, as far as their off-season moves and the direction that the franchise seems to be headed, up until the season and then during the season, I will certainly be talking about them every week, at least recapping each week. So, yeah. So I want to hear what you guys think, whether you're a baseball fan, White Sox fan. What do you think the White Sox will do? Do you think that they're going to make a better off season this year than they had for themselves last year? But I definitely want to hear what everybody thinks. More than happy to respond to people making comments. I love to hear the comments, and I love to respond and get a little interaction going between people who watch the channel and myself. But for right now, it's Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke, signing off.